talking about the Bolton Octagon, that's where I went down to about a week or so ago to watch the opening of Kes. Now, we remember Kes, the wonderful book by Barry Hines, Kestrel for a Knave. It's currently wowing audiences at the Octagon with a really fresh new adaptation of it, and I got the chance to speak to the star of that show, and it is his debut on stage. It's the wonderful Jake Dunn. Here's what he had to tell me.
In terms of like researching before auditioning, I didn't touch the material. I'd grown up with Kes. It's a story that really stays in your mind long after you've seen it. I remember the first time I saw it, and the last time I saw it was when I was about 16, and so I just focused on the accent, really. I had to kind of nail a South Yorkshire accent, which is quite far from me. So I focused on that for the auditions, and then it just kind of happened, really.
You totally nailed that. Honestly, you've got a great ear for accents when it comes to that. Talking about the director, I mean, he is quite visionary, isn't he? Autry Banerjee, you know, what he did at the Royal Exchange for Hobson's Choice, you know, it's really kind of elevated him to be in this top 25 of directors. What's it been like working with somebody like that?
I mean, he's amazing. Like, he's just the most... And in the best way, the most sensitive director. You know, it's a play that is really, it's a really difficult play. It's a very emotional play. And there's something about, you know, for me, my experience, I've kind of, this is the first time I've ever done this. And I've moved out of London and come to Manchester, and I'm in a play with two other people. And, you know, he really holds a space for you. And, you know, I know that we couldn't do certain moments in that play without the room feeling totally safe and free to get it wrong or be messy or be ugly. And he really holds that space for me, Harry and Nishla, who I work with. He's just, it's always about detail, and always, you know, the rehearsal process was just deepening the work all the time and seeing where we could, you know, try things and devising together. Really, it was a very collaborative process to make this play, because the script is so kind of punchy and fast that, you know, we create kind of a lyrical piece together, which is really exciting to work with someone like that.
It is. It's very lyrical. It's poetic. Of course, it's got the music as well from Nishla that we see throughout it. It is, as I say, quite, you know, a different, it's very stripped back as well. What was it like, though, for Nishla being the Kestrel, you know, and you're not having that physical Kestrel, but then having that relationship? Would you say it was better?
I mean, yeah, for me, I can't speak for Nishla, but for me, having Nishla in the rehearsal process has been an amazing, you know, one of the most amazing things about it, because it really, you know, she brings such a dynamic to it, because Nishla is a singer and not an actor first and foremost, although, I mean, she is absolutely brilliant in it. She brings a totally different energy to Harry and I that really serves the play. And in the play, my Billy doesn't really see Nishla, the singer, very much. So me as the actor, whenever we were doing scenes, I would always just try and look at her to see what she was doing, because there's so much that I haven't seen and don't get to see that when people talk to me afterwards, just always sounds amazing. People really love the relationship Nishla and Harry have together, and the way they work together. It's really exciting, and I'm always really jealous. I always feel left out.
Oh, bless you. What has the reaction been like for people? I mean, I know when I came on Monday, it was absolutely fantastic. You know, the audience loved it, and there was, you know, some laughter in there. Obviously, we all felt kind of the poignancy as well, you know, that the tragic side.
I think people have really, really responded to it. I mean, it's a really, as an actor, it is a really scary play to do, because I'm playing Billy Casper in the North, which is literally like petrifying. And there is something about, like, you know, you mentioned, like, it's my stage debut, so there's a part of me that was like, the fearlessness worked because I was just like, well, no one knows who I am, so if it doesn't work, I'll just go like write a book or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, you're like, just, and I think the response has been really brilliant. It's really felt, we're still really early into the run, but it feels like people are not just responding to how we honor the story of Kes, which is, you know, so well loved and kind of ingrained in the culture, but also it is a separate tale about grief and trauma and how you deal with something really painful happening to you. And I think I've felt a response from people around how men talk to each other. Do you know what I mean? There is something about that, I think, in this play that's really important. So it's been amazing. It's been very overwhelming. I've never had any of this before. So when it happens, I'm kind of like, thank you. And then I kind of don't know what to say. But it's been really sweet.
We'll always welcome you with open arms in the north, you know. And I believe you've been going out and about as well, because you actually went to a bird sanctuary, didn't you? So I mean, you might not get a real kestrel in the show, but you didn't actually held one, didn't you, with the rest of the cast?
Yeah, I did. It was amazing. I think people did think after that we were going to have a real bird in the play, and we had to kind of let people know that.
And then you're like, no, that's not.
It's not, but it was a really. I had two experiences before rehearsals began. I went and met a falconer on my own in East Sussex, who introduced me not to a kestrel but to a goshawk and an eagle and a couple of other birds, because basically I've just become obsessed with birds since we've been doing this play. But when we all went up and met that little kestrel called Cloud, it was a really incredible experience. There's something so truthful that's in the book, in Ken Loach's film, and in the play, that talks about the silence that you feel when you're in the presence of something like that. They have such a strength and a power and an energy that is really, I guess it's because we've been in the rehearsal process for 3 weeks as well, but I was really moved by holding that kestrel, and I really felt privileged to do it. It's such a solitary experience. It's not a shared experience, I don't think. I think your experience with a bird of prey, with a falcon, is your experience alone, and I think that there's something that's really incredible about that. You know, no one else gets it just like you do, which is really sweet.
And that's great when you're coming to play the role of Billy, because, you know, that's what you want to evoke, and you really, really do. Are you enjoying it then at the Octagon?
Yeah, I am. It's like a crazy kind of experience, because I'm trying to enjoy it as much as I can, because I know it'll be over before I know it. But you know, it's amazing working with Harry and Nishla every day, and it feels like we come onto that stage to tell a story, and it feels like we're always being greeted by warm audiences that for the most part, I think, have an understanding of what this is already, and that doesn't feel like an added pressure, which is really interesting. It feels like an audience that wants to enjoy and be part of the play with you, which I think is a really, really good thing about Kes. Is I think that we use the audience as part of the storytelling. You know, they become the classroom, they become witnesses to things that happen in it, and I think I'm having a great time. I'm having a really great time.
Now, you know, I've got to ask you, like, the most important question here.
Right.
Have you had a Bolton pasty yet?
No. What? Oh! No one's even told me about this.
It's famous for its pasties in Bolton. So you need to get yourself a pasty, and then you can call yourself an adopted northerner, all right?
Right. Where do I go for this? Where's the Bolton pasty?
Oh, there's quite a few.
This is bad,
honestly,
isn't it?
all you need to do is, I suppose, on your break from your matinee to your evening performance, all right, nip out into the centre, and you'll definitely find yourself a good old pasty. Have one of those, and then you won't even have to think about putting an accent on. You'll just be transformed.
It's just there, isn't it? I have one of those. That's my prep. I don't need to warm up. I don't need to think about anything. If I have the pasty, I'm part of the north. Yeah.
Oh, can you imagine if Jake walks into a pasty shop in Bolton and says, Michelle Eagleton recommends I buy a pasty? Just to get into character, you know? I don't think he needs that. Honestly, Jake, you are fantastic in that role of Billy in Kes. And of course, it is running at the Octagon until the 2nd of April. It's a co-production with Theatre by the Lake. So if you do miss it and don't get the chance to get to the Octagon, then you can always see it at Theatre by the Lake from the 6th till the 30th of April.